So, this is Ukulele for Self-Improvement. This is episode number 1, and I've got my fancy shirt on. I don't have a cowboy hat yet, but that's coming. We're going to need a cowboy hat in further episodes of this. So today I'm going to talk about the blues and the 12-bar blues chord progression, because that's a fundamental chord progression that you would need to know to play lots and lots of tunes. So let me do a very simple one for you in the key of C, and then we'll do another one in the key of B flat, which is what I wanted to talk about with the song Boys by the Beatles. I'm sorry, that's not right. Not Boys. It's called Chains. All right. Anyway, so 12-bar blues. It's in 4/4 time, and what we're going to do as far as our strumming is going to be a very simple strum. I'm just going to strum with my thumb, bring it down across the strings like that, once per beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how I'm strumming it. Every group of 4 is one measure. The 12-bar blues goes like this, and I'll just play a very simple one in the key of C. So if I'm in the key of C, I'm going to have a C chord. Tune. Okay, I'm going to try that again. So if I'm in the key of C, I'm going to play a C chord for 4 measures in a row. So here's the first measure, the second measure, third measure, the fourth measure. Then on the 5th measure, I'm going to go to the F chord for 2 measures in a row, then back to a C chord for 2 measures in a row. Then I'm going to play a G chord for 1 measure, F chord for 1 measure, then a C chord for 1 measure, then a G chord for 1 measure, and that was 12 measures. And then what you're going to do at the end of that 12 measures is you're going to cycle back to the beginning and play the whole thing again. Now, not everybody uses just major chords like I played there. I played a C major chord, I played an F major chord, and a G major chord. But a lot of times in the blues, you will hear all of those as 7th chords rather than major chords. So I'm going to play it again, and this time I'm going to play a C7 chord, and then I will play an F7 chord, and then a G7 chord. So let's try that. So here's a C7 chord for 2 measures, 3 measures, 4 measures. Now go to an F7 for 2 measures, back to the C7. Then I'm going to play the G7, F7, C7, then a G7, and then of course I would cycle back around. So that's the basic form of the blues. Let me tell you one more thing about that. A lot of times musicians, when they talk about chord progressions and chord sequences, instead of describing the actual chords and naming the actual chords they're using, like say C7, F7, G7, they will use numbers to describe the relationship between the chords. So we're going to give the C chord the number 1. So C7, we'll call that number 1. The F7, we'll call that 4. And then the G7, we're going to call that one 5. So if I play through the 12-bar blues chord progression again, but this time I'm going to give you the numbers rather than the names of the chords. So here's the 1 chord. We're going to do this for 4 measures in a row. Here's the 4 chord. Do that for 2 measures in a row. Back to the 1 chord for 2 measures in a row. Then the 5 chord for 1 measure. 4 chord for 1 measure. The 1 chord. Then the 5 chord. Okay, and then I would cycle through and do that several times over and over again to play a 12-bar blues. So you should memorize that chord progression, because it's the basis for most American popular music. A lot of American popular music, whether it's blues, of course, or jazz, or country music, or rock and roll, will utilize that particular chord progression. Anyway, Welcome to episode 1 of Ukulele for Self-Improvement. And today we're going to talk about... That was Adriana's cat. And he thought that cats could not play piano.